Girls, what's the most obvious I like you hint you gave a guy, but for some reason they still didn't get it? We were stargazing. Him, okay. To find a shooting star. Just look at a point that you're attracted to. I look straight at him. No, you need to look at the sky. That's the cutest ducking shit I've ever read. Well, this is probably the most embarrassing moment of my life, but I'll share anyways. In year 11th I liked this guy, and I had been dropping hints for a while, and since they weren't getting me anywhere I, with a lot of encouragement from my best friend, who was convinced he liked me too, outright told him I like you. His answer hurt a little, not gonna lie. What? That wasn't even funny, to which I had to clarify that I was in fact not joking, I'm being serious. And as it turns out my best friend was terribly wrong, because his answer was, well, this is awkward. I actually like your best friend. The friendship with the guy got really awkward afterward because he kept making jokes about how I liked him. Hey, I'm sitting next to you. But this doesn't mean anything. Don't get any ideas. Completely platonic. You're like another dude to me. Harshy wishes. Needless to say, I got over him quite quickly. Dang. That dude really rubbed salt in that wound. I can't imagine doing that to someone. Probably the kindest thing he could have done, even if it was unintentional. And he was actually an asshole. Straight up sitting on his lap when watching a movie, kissing his cheek, and nuzzling my head into his neck, plus multiple other obvious verbal and physical clues. But he thought I gave off mixed signals and only wanted to be friends? Did the things worked out later? Started dating other people and just so happened to never end up single at the same time, so nothing ever came of it. We are great friends. And I'm about to go play Pokemon Go with him in 30 minutes. Asking for his hand, then writing my phone number on it. I did that 3 times. But of course they never called. I still cringe about doing that. To be fair, I once had a very charming lady write her number on my hand. I'm an avid hand washer. Meaning, before and after using the bathroom, I was drying my hands, about to walk out of the bathroom, before I remembered the ink. Too late. She was already gone. And serendipity never gave me another chance. I was mad at myself for weeks. Before my girlfriend was my girlfriend, she was just a friend I had a crush on who texted me saying she ducked up cause she drunk texted her crush the night before. I replied with damn. Was it bad? And had a conversation with her. Some 20 minutes later I realized she spent the whole night in question texting me. I'm not an extremely intelligent man. Edit. In the off chance my girlfriend actually sees this and recognizes me, I wanna just say I love her a lot. To be fair, she could have texted someone else at the same time. Damn, you may have just ruined a relationship, haha. This is so dorky, but I liked a boy in high school, and he was nice and would talk on AIM a lot, and one day thinking I was being so brave I wrote him, I've been locked inside your heart-shaped box for weeks or mayo. I thought it was so cute, and he was all get out. Hahaha, if it wasn't me it'd make fun of me for that. I've been locked inside your heart-shaped box for weeks. That's odd, there is no lock on that. It's just a burnt out husk. You should just leave via one of the massive open holes. I think you are cute. Wanna go to the movies? He was pretty shocked when I kissed him. We've been together for 2.5 years now. Mission passed plus RESPECT. Oh definitely. They're having some coffee. There's a lot of dude stories in this thread, but I have to add one more. 2 of my friends invited me out to a park. These 2 were / are dating. When I showed up it was them, plus an extra woman. We hung out, played some games for a couple hours. Then I grabbed my buddy and left. So, what did you think of? Friendly lady, she seems nice. Flash forwarded the evening. He invites me out to the club. When I show up, once again, new lady friend is there. We get some drinks, dance for a bit. About 3/4 of the way through the night she leaned in and whispered in my ear, under this dress I'm not wearing any panties. Commando. It's a great comfort thing. The look on her face was a mix of disbelief and insult. At the end of the night she was leaving with another guy. I waved and said have fun. It was good meeting you. And when I turned back my buddy looked at me like I was the dumbest thing on the planet. That's quite the reaction from the dude we were trying to set her up with. And that's when it all made sense. Edit. No. It never progressed. I whiffed bad. She was miffed, and I was embarrassed, so I took the L and moved on. Haha. I mean, it is a great comfort thing. You wanna go out? I wish I was joking. Edit. I like all your stories. I also see that guys get teased by fake dates often. Sorry to hear that, dudes. That must feel awful. Edit again because I have to keep saying it. I had to reword my question for him. And when I said dating he replied OHHHH and it finally clicked for him. We dated for a while. We still laugh about the situation because it's just funny to think about. I was that guy at least once. I was taking transit home from a New Year's party at a friend's bar. I ended up chatting with this beautiful woman about my age. Find out I'd just left the university she was finishing up at that year, and she was staying with some of her family in my neighborhood for the rest of the holidays. Generally hit it off pretty well. We end up having an animated, hilarious conversation for the hour-ish trip. As I go to get off at my stop she says I'd love to get together for a drink before I leave town again and my dumbass says yeah that'd be great. Then I wave goodbye and hop off the streetcar. It took me about 14 steps to realize that 1. She wanted to exchange contact information so we could see each other again. 2. We didn't exchange that information. 3. I'm colossally stupid as a person. Dude, you ducking crushed her. This one is a little different because we'd been going on dates and were clearly interested in each other. We just weren't exclusive or official yet. I asked him if he wanted to make it official, but could we make it an easy to remember date? He looked at me and I said oh wow it's late. It's 11:59. Oh crap what's the date today? And he said it June 15th. We both grew up in the 616 area code and I said oh. It's midnight. So it's not the 15th anymore. You know what's a really easy date to remember? He mulled it over for a minute and said 9/11. I stared at him until he said never forget. We got covered married using the same 6/16 date. But we still laugh about that moment often. Obligatory edit. Thanks for all the awards. I'm just glad you all liked my story. I was not expecting so many orange reds when I woke up this morning. Low-key. That 9/11 joke he made sounds like something I would say. Me, never forget the mom spaghetti. It's ready. Huh, I think we should see other people. Guy here. I told a girl on MSN years ago that I had a crush on her. She replied, it's mutual and I didn't know what that meant, so I ghosted her. Oh my god. You were literally using the most revolutionary tool for information sharing / discovery, and yet didn't bother to look up the definition of a word. Lol. A new monk arrives at the monastery. He is assigned to help the other monks in copying the old texts by hand. He notices, however, that they are copying copies and not the original books. So, the new monk goes to the head monk to ask him about this. He points out that if there was an error in the first copy, that error would be continued in all of the other copies. The head monk says, we have been copying from the copies for centuries, but you make a good point, my son. So, he goes down into the cellar with one of the copies to check it against the original. Hours later, nobody has seen him. So, one of the monks goes downstairs to look for him. He hears sobbing coming from the back of the cellar and finds the old monk leaning over one of the original books crying. He asks what's wrong. You duckers, he says, with anger and sadness in his eyes. The word was celebrate. Oh my poor guy. I had been flirting hardcore for years. Complimenting him, comparing hand sizes, suggesting he needed someone to keep his bed warm, doing everything to be alone with him. But I think the biggest one was once after a Pathfinder game he said it was time to go home, and I said your place or mine. To which I got I'm heading to my place. I was so frustrated I literally grabbed him and asked him out. Now I wake up every day next to the best man I've ever known. AWW. That's cute. If you didn't tell me you ended up together, I might actually assume he's just not interested lol. I'm a guy, but a girl I knew in high school was so painfully into me that only a being as dense I'm cold missed it. Some examples include, but are not necessarily limited to, 1. Her walking up to me before school every single day without fail despite her class being on the opposite side of school. What are you up to, Ben? Me, sitting. Cass. 2. Her looking at me with puppy dog eyes and smiling while sitting with our friend group together at lunch. What do you think about me, Ben? Me, talkative. Maybe a bit annoying sometimes. 3. Her and her friend walking up to me after school waiting for my brother's club activities to be done. What you doing? Me, napping. Cass. What else am I doing? The fact that she still kept trying to win over my dense ass for 2 years speaks volumes about that kind of dedication she must have been trying put into it. If you're reading this, Cassidy, sorry I was a stupid 16 to 17 year old boy and that I never got the hints from our sophomore through junior years. F. Why don't you randomly text her? I reconnected with an old friend to Facebook. I saw a post of her and wonder, what has she been up to? So I texted her saying, hello, I saw your post and wonder, what has been up with you? In one of my college classes I was in a group with 2 girls. One of them I had a minor crush on. The other not so much. One day the professor mentioned that there was a new mandate for one of our assignments. Pretty frequently after that the girl I wasn't into would make the pun, I sure could use a mandate, and look at me and smile. I would just smile back, pretending I didn't get it. After one of these attempts I heard the girl I was into whisper to her encouragingly, just keep trying. He'll figure it out eventually. I had figured it out the first time. I just wasn't interested. It's nice hearing the other side of the story. Did you try to make a move on the girl you liked though? No. It was a minor crush. More along the lines of she is pretty cute. I might ask her out at the end of the semester kind of thing. Hearing her encourage our third group member to keep trying to get together with me ended my interest. Even in my late teens I avoided drama whenever possible. Obligatory, George Costanza, dropping a girl off after dinner. Her, you wanna come up for coffee? Him, oh I can't drink coffee this late. It'll keep me up. Awkward silence. Her, okay, well good night. She shouldered offered tea. I asked him out, and he replied just the 2 of us. We dated for a while, but didn't work out. Maybe he was really hoping for a 3-way. Scratch that. He wanted an orgy. Obligatory, I'm a guy, sorry, and I've had pretty low self-esteem for most of my life. One time my friend, a girl I liked, told me I could touch her anywhere I wanted to. I sort of wrapped my arm around her waist in a friendly side hug sort of way, and she immediately smiled, grabbed my other hand, and put it on her boob. I was like, oh, cool. You still didn't get that she liked you? Or you're just not interested? I didn't get that she liked me. She kissed me after that though, so it worked out, lol. Well, this hurts typing it out. Male massage therapist here. At the time of my stupidity I was 21 to 22. Aish, a longtime family friend from another state, came to stay at my parents' house to visit our state for a while. This girl is gorgeous. I was always attracted to her when I was a kid. Anyways, she has a jacked up back from post-military life. She asks for a massage. Massage ends. I step out of the room for her to change. She put a towel on, comes to the door, opens it, and asks if I want to come in and cuddle for a bit. Years later still regret not taking up her offer. F. Oof. Obligatory, not a girl, but I was once talking to a girl I'd met at the coffee shop I hung out at. She asked if I had plans that night. I responded that I planned on doing my normal, getting really drunk, eating something from the freezer and passing out. She responded that she was going to do the same, but worried that it would bum her out to drink and watch movies alone. I perked right up and said that she should for sure do it. Duck expectations. I finished my coffee, turned and said, have a good night, and walked off. Later that night I was drinking and listening to some music. When I replayed the conversation in my head, the realization slowly washed over me God damn it. I met another girl who was a friend of hers, and she said that the only reason she was going to that particular coffee shop was because she liked talking to me, and I was there a lot. I guess she took it as an outright rejection, because I didn't see her there again. I saw on Facebook that she had a boyfriend a few weeks later, whereas I was still drinking alone and masturbating in my room. You fed yourself. Meh. I was 22. I probably would have found another way to duck it up anyway. Now I have this mediocre story to tell strangers on the internet. Would you ever consider dating an older woman? I'm 2 years older. He said no, so I dropped it of course. Later he asked me out, and I asked him about not dating older women, and he said that he thought I was talking about my friend. That his friend had to point out that I was talking about myself, and then he felt like an idiot. Lol. I mean TBF. If someone asked me if I would consider dating an older woman, I would assume they were talking about someone 10 to 20 years older. I wouldn't even think of someone 2 years older than me as an older woman. It depends on the context. Some people are uncomfortable with dating a woman who is older than them, not sure why. And in that situation it could be a question of, hey, I've got 2 years on you. Are you cool with that? On the other hand, if they are using the term older woman jokingly, you'd have to lay it on a little thick to avoid the confusion of referring to another woman who is 10 plus years older. I'm a guy, but I missed an obvious sign once. Me and a friend were waiting for a few others to show up, and they called saying they would be an hour late because they ran down to the university to pick up a buddy. My female friend turned to me and said, well, I'll just have to sit on your face until they get here. I replied that it probably wouldn't be comfortable. It clicked in about 2 minutes later, and I was lucky she was far nicer than I'm smart. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.